Alright. The answer is Star Citizen Dragon. I don't know. Alright, hello everyone. It's been a while. I tried multiple times to do Star Citizen weeklies, and I have not done them in too long, and it is a crime. A crime. Of which I must apologize for. Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about.
Hello.
Oh, wow. Oh.
How are you?
Oh, I could be better.
Feeling better?
Oh. Oh goodness. I was very terrified. I was like, what happened? Okay, why do I have a tier 1 injury? Or a tier 3 injury? Why didn't I look at this before? Because I couldn't. So this is the year stability, and I think we've been, I don't know. I don't think I have seen too many opinions that were super negative about the whole no feature thing. Now that I think about it, actually, which is nice. I'm like, because I think Jared put it best in that 3-hour special. It's like, the proof is in the pudding. Did he say that? He might have said that. And I'm not completely sure. It was like, it is a solid wait and see situation here. I could argue that, oh, we need the stability, or we need the new features. It'd be great if it just had more features. But, like, we can all agree. I think we can all agree. Be surprised if we couldn't agree. That, yeah, I mean, stability is a huge part of it, so it's definitely not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad call. Just a matter of, seeing how well they execute it more than anything else. I do miss when they, spawning in the hangars. Like, for the first time login, it was not what you wanted. Because you needed to go and, like, pick up gear and stuff or whatever.
I'm sorry. That is an invalid request.
Oh.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Oh no.
Welcome to the ASOP.
That's new. I've never seen that screen before. Brand new content. Yeah, there's a lot of things, I guess. See, I don't know about how everybody else feels about... Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know how everybody else feels about, Fight for Pyro. I did save Stanton. I don't want to engage with Pyro at all. To be honest, the PTU experience was like hot garbage. It was actually genuinely hot garbage. Where like the FPS was just unbelievably terrible, and they also, you know, Benoit talked about why that was, and it's like, okay. It's like, you know, it's a thing. I'm glad that it wasn't just me, because it was like, ugh. And the inventory is bugging out. That's always fun. That's okay. All I need to worry about is a little bit of spare ammo. But I could acquire that on site, so that's fine. We're talking about, I think, like, engagement with the whole story and the whole universe, and I was like, look, I didn't do it because I don't want to go to Pyro. So, like, you've immediately, like, lost me there. If we're gonna do an event, if you're gonna do these story missions, then, like, now I'm not saying that I should necessarily, especially, like, when we have more systems, you know, I shouldn't necessarily, you know everything that is happening in the universe simultaneously, right? Especially, like, if, you know, somebody like me who's going to say, I don't want to go to this area doesn't interest me, which also I assume it's probably going to be a lot of people that just, like, oh, I want to do stuff in Pyro, I don't want to do stuff in Pyro, you know? My understanding, like, one of the things is that basically all they've done is do missions that have some text, and then on the website they have a little blurb with a little bit more story, and, like, it's a thing, it is a story, but nobody cares. Like, and it's not that nobody cares because it's not, like, a good or interesting story, but the way it's, like, presented, it's just, like, well, who was it? Astropub, who was like, yeah, nobody reads. And, I mean, like, I guess, in all fairness, like, I would say that, oh, I read, mission text. I didn't, just now. All I know is that Marker has me go place, I go place, I shoot bad guy. With Xenothreat, and even, like, to some extent, even to some extent, you know, Siege of Orison, like, there's little comms, like, showing up that, you know, you could see, you can, like, hear, you know, people, you know, talking, actually having, like, you could actually hear a story developing, and that wasn't, that just didn't happen with, a lot of other events. Like, in my mind, like, Save Stanton, when the slicers were a thing, like, they were... Who were the slicers? I don't know. There is no, like, info to find out about them. There was no info to find out about them. And, to my understanding, like, really we don't know... We still don't really know what the slicers/frontier fighters are. Frankly, like, okay, maybe that's more story going on, but, like, I don't know, there were people who were literally working with them. Like, the idea, in my mind, the idea that, okay, we're going to give you 3 factions, and then we're going to tell you that this one faction is bad, and it's going to be, like, you just don't get a choice in how you act. Like, there's no, you can't continue your relationship with Frontier Fighters. The Frontier Fighters are just done. Like, frankly, like, they were talking about, like, you know, like, oh, you know, like, we want to give, like, Phase 3 as a comeuppance for people who feel betrayed that we tricked them into, that they were tricked into committing genocide. And, I'm like, dude, what? Like... I feel more betrayed by CAG that they would give us a faction and then just not let us choose to align ourselves with the faction or not. They committed genocide. Sure, they're not a good faction, but this is a video game. This is a dystopian video game. Let people give people options. Speaking of... Maybe not speaking of options. Oh no. Who are... Wait. What am I looking at? I was about to open... I was about to go hog wild. Did I... failed? No, I did. Okay. I think I might have been looking at Blackjack security there, which is... not too common. Usually Blackjack gets their asses handed to them immediately. Wait a minute. Oh! Oh, I think this was a bug that was happening. No. No. I'm sorry. I got excited for a second. There was a bug, I think, maybe the last time I played, that there was a... I had... a, like, I had a backpack equipped, but it was invisible. Also, I do wish I had a sniper rifle. That's okay. Wait, well, we got one Ninetales. That rock looks suspiciously human-shaped. What was I seeing? I was seeing, like, I don't know. Oh. That's the kind of performance we don't want to see. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, blackjack's... Yeah, and I don't know. It's 50-50 if sometimes the friendly AI is like just on it. Oh geez, what what was that? I think I walked into him and he got like glued to me for a second. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm like, I guess I'm not disappointed. But it's just like, it seems weird to me that like I had absolutely zero interest or like motivation to play the event. I also like, I mean, I'll be honest, I also am still of the mind that it didn't make any sense for them to wipe, because like, it was like, oh, the economy's in a rough space. Well, you didn't actually add any of the money sinks that would have like justified, like, okay, like, you know, because like the economy, sure, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun until it isn't, and like that's like you have to put those money sinks in that you've been talking about, or it's not gonna change. It felt a little bit oof when I realized like, oh, if you want to do all this, if you want to make money, you gotta go to Pyro. You don't have a choice. You gotta go to Pyro. Yeah, that felt a little bit... That, grinded my gears just ever so slightly. Is that? I'm sorry. I was, like, I was seeing, like, 2 custodians and, like, with the grip there, and I was like, that actually kind of looks cool. Oh, you know what? That's another thing. They did mention an update that there's going to be more weapons. Oh my god. I'm just like, I want to be excited, but also practically speaking, like, you gotta realize there was like a period where there was just 3 years of like, hey, we're not getting any, we didn't get any new weapons, and even then it was the dead rig, which you could not get in game, and it was only available to people who bought it. And I assume that the dead rig is now available in game, somewhere. Also, if that is the case, I got no idea where the hell it is. Never know. I also really... Oh, man. The thing is, also, with the feature stuff, like, it's gonna be subjective. There's industrial players who probably, like, yeah, not everything's in place. We don't have all the feature work. We don't have all the feature work to, like, you know, say that that part of the game is complete, necessarily. Sure. And there's a lot of other things that, like, yeah, it's not the full game you want, right? It's not... The game loops are not complete. But you have people like me who, like, I was really excited for crafting, and we've got no... Like, if you have the expectation... Like, there was the expectation that crafting and base building was going to come out this year. Like, maybe, admittedly, in all fairness, maybe that's a little bit optimistic. And crafting was like going to be a super exciting thing for me. And like now I've got no expectation of it coming out this year. And then things like the FPS radar and scanning, like, no, where would that come out? When would that come out? Absolutely no idea. Also, ooh, is this the Heartseeker? No. I was gonna say, is that the Heartseeker with the special gun? But no. Did they release the Super Hornet for Valentine's Day? Is that when it came out? Or was it like... Or was it not a thing? I can't remember. I don't know. And I guess in some way that could make sense, but I digress. You know what though? The power setting. I don't know when the power system changed. I don't understand it and I don't like it. So what? I have... No, I think the C1 only has one power plant. But like, you know, if you put like 2 power plants together and they both have 17, then you get like 21 or something power units to use, and it's just like, look, I maybe I need it explained to me. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily the worst thing, but like, that it sort of like gets diluted, but like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And like, it's also not like the Reliant. The Reliant is a whole deal. The Reliant is a whole deal, where like, but specifically, the, you know, if I replace the Gilroy mounts, which are size 3s, which is one Gilroy mount size 3, I replace both of those with Tashima turrets, which, you know, one Tashima is 2 size 2s, you would think that, oh, I get maybe a bit more FPS, but it, like, takes more power, combined DPS. Don't get your PSs confused. God, this is also a problem where the contracts decides, hey, you know that mission you were just looking at? Well, yeah, you're not looking at that anymore. Yeah, you would think that, like, like, if I have more guns, then it might mean more power, but no, it's just, it's limited to the hull and how much power you can put through the hull, and it's like, I mean, that doesn't, like, necessarily, that doesn't, like, not make sense, necessarily, it's just weird. And also, I don't remember hearing anything about this. I have no idea how this actually works. Oh, Grant. I've had really good luck with missions, but clearly it's not 100%. It would be really funny, actually. Maybe not FPS radar and scanning, but the engineering stuff, like, they're like, we're not going to add a capital ship to the game until we have engineering. And they, you know, they definitely were planning on having engineering in before the Polaris, but that isn't how reality happened. And that's understandable. But now, like, who the fuck knows? And it's kind of, and again, it's kind of a shame, at least in my mind. Especially because there's, like, there can be a really great equalizer in having, because I think, like, with a lot of balance, there's, they're not playing with a full deck of cards. Like, the Corsair, Like, how do you balance the Corsair? Having a lot of FPS. And, you know, I mean... I don't know. Maybe, just maybe. There is the element of the Corsair just, being a cool ship. Being a neato. And people just wanna play with it. I don't know. Probably not, though. It was probably the extra guns. But, like, yeah, I mean, like, Drake ships have a lot of, usually are overgunned, and then they're supposed to be under-armored, correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, that's supposed to be the balance, and we can't have the balance if we don't have an armor system, and they said they needed to put a placeholder armor system in to make engineering work the way they wanted. So, like... Oh my god, holy fuck! Sorry. I'm just... Okay. Alright, so I... as of late, have, been disillusioned with the Reliant because it, oh, it just disappeared off the radar, I think. I have been disillusioned with the Reliant because, its handling just... I haven't flown it in a very long time, because, like, up until 4.0, there really weren't missions, like, space combat missions to do in R-Corp that weren't bounties, and I didn't want to do bounties. Maybe kind of a stupid reason, but, so I didn't realize. Oh my god. I hope the little hiccups are coming through here. I also hope that... I don't know what... Like, I don't... How? Dude, how is this thing just disappearing off of my radar? Like, what is it doing? What action are they doing to reduce their emissions at such a close fucking range? That doesn't make sense, right? That is a bug.
Attack on shields.
And this is also going to make this fucking annoying. Literally just serves no purpose other than making this really fucking annoying. Well, that's not true. Like, I can see it, but I can't target it. And the stupid fucking thing, like, what the fuck is this? That's also a thing that's been happening. The Reliant is, like, it technically might have better handling than the Spirit here, but the Spirit is way more responsive, and the Reliant is unbearably sloppy. Like... Like, I'm genuinely, like, I don't want to use the Reliant anymore, but also, like, it's just a balance thing they have to look at. And, like, yeah. And it's also one thing where, I have no idea where the idea is on that. The random stealth burst is fucking annoying, though. Like, because, at least, okay, like, if there was a thing... Well, for one thing, theoretically, the combat should be so close I should just be able to see the damn thing and try and shoot at it, but I can't because it's so damn small, and we're actually are decently a far way ways, I guess. Maybe it would make sense. Like, maybe it would make sense, but it's also a thing that I've never heard them say, so, like, oh, there's going to be a stealth burst where you just suddenly can cut all your emissions, disappear off the radar for a hot second, disorient your enemy. It's a interesting idea, for damn sure. Damn sure needs to be a place, like New Hampshire, but damn sure. Anyways, I did on stream fly a Guardian, and the Guardian is kind of like, I don't know. The Guardian seemed cool. It seems cool. I think honestly, the problem is that the Reliant is the ship I want. And there's other ones as well, but like, I don't need the Reliant to be like the best fighter. I'm not asking for that. Just like, I'm not asking for it to be top tier maneuverability or anything. I just don't want it to suck ass. Like, literally, I'm looking at it and just like, the C1 is I genuinely would like upgrade my Reliant to a C1 just so I can be like genuinely, just so I could, you know, because like I'm using the C1 and I'm not using the Reliant, and it's almost seeming to me more like actually the C1 maybe is all I need. But it's also kind of fucking depressing because I love the Reliant. Loved the Reliant. And now it's like, I literally can't use it. Like, there was a stream I did, where, like, I was, like, at the end of, I think it might have been the 4.0 PTU, might have been the 320, I don't know. It was something. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I got some money to burn. So, like, I'll just, like, I'm gonna buy an arrow and I'm gonna buy a hawk, and I'm gonna just try flying those in the persistent universe. And the arrow, like, literally the Reliant would take me, like, 5 minutes to take down one enemy, and the arrow took me 30 seconds. Like, it was unbelievable. And, like, the arrow is a light fighter, and it's a well-renowned light fighter. And, like, the Reliant is not as, shouldn't be as combat capable. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. But, like, it should not be that drastic of a difference. And it was just because of handling. Like, it's not necessarily the speeds. It's like the acceleration and deceleration of the speeds of trying to turn around. I'd love to fly, I would love to try out a Hornet, but a Hornet's also, super goddamn expensive. I don't know if you can rent any of the Mark IIs. If you can, that would be very nice, but was super disillusioned with the Hornet Mark II because of the event and, like, the whole upgrade token thing where, like, the reward for that was the reward for the event was to pay them money. And, like, that was fucking stupid. And I like baby, thinking back on it now, and, like, I don't know, this is also very obviously off the cuff, and just, but yeah, maybe looking back at it now, I was a little bit, might have been a little emotionally, might have gotten a little bit too emotionally invested in that whole situation, where I was like, fuck it, I got a POMO, I got a pride of missing out, bitch. Like, I think, what the fuck? That, I was extremely curious, and I'm very disappointed to see that it was just an upside down cutlass. I was really hoping that was... Can we just look at that silhouette again? Like, I was thinking it was like a reclaimer or something. I'm just saying, other Hornets, but it was also, funnily enough... Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm just, like... just thinking about, swapping around swapping around ships and how much money that would all cost. And actually, the Reliant Tana and the Arrow are the exact same price. So if I melted... So, like, if I melted my C1 and then upgraded my Reliant to a C1, I could... Well, yeah, no, I guess I could just melt... I should theoretically have enough money to get an Arrow, and if I wanted to swap over to a Reliant, I could do that. Unless they up the price, but also, if they did, like, it's okay. I was being told, though, that the Arrow, you know, it's not very tanky, but also, like, I'm not doing super crazy missions, and I also, like, you don't have to worry about power as much in the Arrow because you don't have 2 shield generators, which also, you know, means you don't have 2 shield generators. You know, not necessarily just a benefit there, but also, you know, it is a thing, it is an element to consider. Yeah, we could drop that. I was also happy to see that, like, some people were mentioning, like, please, can we get, like, can we just, like, okay, like, the not focusing on features and focusing on playability would be is a great thing, but, like, can we have looting, like, looting be good? Like, it takes too long. I have no interest in it, and, like, it's a whole thing. And, like, there were a few people, at least, who were like that. Like, there's a lot of things with the game. There are a lot of things with Star Citizen. Nobody can dispute that. Do you feel like the C-54 has been a little bit less reliable in terms of, or I guess it feels like there's more kick to it, which isn't a bad thing. I also I'm not using the compensator, which theoretically should be doing a bit better of a job at recoil compensation. I also should have swapped over all my mags, but that's okay. Let's get the S-38. Oop. I did take a hit there. So I guess it's some pistols that are having this issue with armor clipping through. Oh, we're at 0%? Okay. Did I get paid? Okay. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, I guess, you know, that is another thing to consider. Also, the FPS, they mentioned that the, FPS weapons should be seeing a much more regular update, and they also talked about all the they talked about all the vault weapons, which because, like, I was there, and I'm not vault guy, but I could have been. What I want to be is Armitage guy. Armitage dude. Because Armitage is a manufacturer that's, that exists on the Galactopedia, but only in the Galactopedia, and, like, basically, like, they're the Crusader of guns, but I also don't think they're, like, nearly as large profile as Crusader. I mean, I don't know. There's not really any precedent for how large they are, but they make militia weapons, I guess, is the best thing to describe. And it might be like, there might be a little bit of, they aren't a company that would make a huge amount of sense to put in right now, because, they're in, well, because they're in Vega. They, I don't know why I opened my inventory. They're in Vega. They make weapons. I mean, I would assume they make weapons, period. But they, it's more of a focus on, like, sort of simple and rugged weapons for militia to use. Yeah, we'll just go. Simple and rugged weapons for the for militias to use on the Vandal front, and presumably also, like, you know, it's like, well, I don't know. There's probably a demand, because I would, if I was in that war contested area, I wouldn't feel too bad of, like, hey, there's this other company, maybe a little bit less reputable, but, like, you know, they're making weapons for the militias, while the main companies that are known for serious military hardware. Love to get a P4AR, but if I can get an Armitage rifle, that's completely okay, because, you know, like, I'm probably not going to be using it nearly as much as a potential militia. As a potential militiaman, probably won't be using it as much as the Navy or the Army. Sorry, total tangent, but, like, hey, sometimes you get into lore and you, like, really love stuff. Then sometimes they change it, which is kind of also how I feel about vaults, because I don't think the vault weapons, where it's like a focus on heat and beams and stuff, I don't think that's bad, but that isn't what their original, like, blurb was. And, like, again, like, it's fine, but also, like, what I'm genuinely curious about is, like, at some point, okay, so I have this idea for vault weapons. Oh, you know what? Maybe, like, this doesn't exactly fit with their original ethos. How about we just rebrand and make a new manufacturer? Because Vault's whole deal was that they basically just make copies. They make cheap knockoff copies that are allegedly, that are, you know, like, allegedly fine and not dangerous to the consumer at all. But, like, you can't do that effectively if you don't have wear and tear. Like, you'll see in Cyberpunk 2077, for instance, there are, like, every other gun sound, like, the description of it makes it sound like it's the little codex entry for it or whatever makes it sound like a cheap piece of garbage that's gonna explode after 5 rounds, and they don't, because there's no durability system in that game. And like, they can't actually balance the weapons around that concept. And, you know, that's like it, and, you know, again, like if they want to just completely rebrand what it is, then okay. It's not the end of the world. And I do think that I am excited for the Vault weapons. But also, like, that is a thing to consider. And also an interesting thing with Vault, I think, is an interesting thing worth mentioning. There was a lot of confusion with Vault weapons and what was being developed and what wasn't. And, like, I think there was I don't know if there was a Vault pistol that was mentioned. It was definitely the rifle that was, like, the first thing. I think a rifle or a submachine gun that we first saw. I could have come out of that a little closer, but I didn't. Do I not have any missiles? Or is the UI just fucking with me?
Attack on shields.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Wait, no, it's not. It is not done. Or it wouldn't give me the heads up thing. What was I gonna say?
Contact.
Right, my mission reset because that's just what it does. So try and stay near the defend target. Because if they like draw you away, I think if they draw you away, you will fail the mission. That's not fun. And also, like, the mission is to defend the target, not to kill the enemies. Although, technically speaking, the way you finish the mission is killing the enemies. Which, also that is another thing with the mission design. Like, that's not what the mission is. That's my main qualm with, or my main issue with bounty missions. Oh, sorry, I'm getting totally distracted. The vault thing. Yeah, so at one point on the roadmap, which ripped the roadmap, by the way, I guess.
Contact.
Yeah, the roadmap. There was, I think, a Volt rifle, a Volt submachine gun, and then a Volt submachine gun, but it was a vehicle weapon? Which, like, was very odd. So, like, there was a whole thing of, like, I just, like, I don't know. I genuinely think, and I could be wrong, hopefully I'm wrong, I think there was just one guy, Jake Acapella, who was doing the roadmap stuff, and now he's gone. And now he left. I don't think for any, like, bad reasons or anything, but, like, I have no idea, in all fairness, though, I guess. But, like, yeah, it's a thing.
Shields on.
Where was... Let's see. I'm curious. You know, these ships could have... Not the Hornet. Presumably is... Well, it's either a Reliant or a 300. Don't know what kind of 300. Probably a Koray, if I had to imagine. Sorry. Seeing it dead. But yeah, anyway, like, again, though, I am excited for the Vault weapons. Oh, fuck! Come on, dude. Damn it. What the fuck? Okay. What is happening? Dude, what? Okay. In order to get out, I have to hit Y. The only way I'm doing that is taking my hand off my mouse. I have a split keyboard. Y, not only is Y closer to my right hand, I have, like, oh my god, my setup. I don't know why that's happening, and that's a little concerning. I think, what do I have? It's a Razer Trinity Naga. It's a great mouse, and it served me very well for as long as I've had it, which, I don't know, maybe it's like 2 years now or something. Oh, Jesus, modulate your speed, dumbass. Oh, come on. Why would... I mean, I know why you would make it the Sen, because it doesn't have... cargo. I haven't been in the Sen, in all fairness. Don't know if I want to be on one that's on fire, but, you know. Ooh. It's the sensor, sciencey sensor thingamabob. Look at that, look at that. If they had any cargo, it would be fun to just take it and... But yeah. I am kind of the opinion, like, okay, so, like, looting is a thing that I really hope they fix. I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming to the realization that, like, oh shit. Like, I really should not expect crafting this year. God. I didn't see it, but one of the, like, the latest captain's table was, like, the title was no new features or whatever for 2025. And it's like, there's not going to be no new features. Like, if there was, I would be pretty disappointed. They didn't say that they're going to stop all progress on, they didn't say they were going to stop all progress on feature work. They just said that there is a giant focus on stability. And, like, I mean, like, I don't think that's... Because the problem is that, like... I mean, like, I get it, because I do think, like... You know, if the CAG devs, like, all don't like playing the game and are just like, we're making, you know, we're doing feature work on this thing. Some people have been doing it for, like, a decade. Although I think probably most people have, like... come and gone, maybe come back again, and maybe gone again, maybe come back again. I wonder, somebody has to have gone in and out, I'm sure, but... Oh, you know what I need to do? You know what I really need to do? I need to go to Hurston. I need to pick up a fucking motherfucker of I need to pick up a cyclone. You know, I think I'm a little numb to that end of quantum entry sound. I gotta admit, I'm thinking about it. I should have gotten... Actually, do I have water? I might have water. I hope I do. It's one of the things. It's just reading, further reading about the whole Hooja What's It. Also, I do have... Yeah. Can take my helmet off. Very nice. And I do have water. Won't be super thirsty. You know what actually would be really nice? I guess it's... I guess it's not like... Alright. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I've been playing that. Loving it. It had... Oh my... Why? Sorry. The mouse down and I was interacting with OBS again on my third monitor, which is below. And that should not happen. That happened. I'm a dumbass though. I don't know what, like... I'm on full screen, which I think I believe is the thing that shouldn't have that problem. I should be locked in. I think it's Windows borderless. That is, the thing I would need to worry about. Okay, so let's go do this. Just had a slow blink because I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, yes, we're gonna go do this, but also, doesn't make any sense to... Alright, so... Yeah. A lot to discuss here, I guess. Alright, so why does clear out site pay less than protect the site? Now, I honestly don't know what the good reason is. Is it I guess my thinking is that it's future-proofing it when there's some other elements that just don't exist currently. All right. I've said it before, and I've said it again. My thought is that looting, if you loot in a friendly bunker, you get a crime stat. You're stealing from your employer. Like, you're stealing from your allies. It's like, maybe if nobody sees you, maybe only if you're seen will you get a crime stat. But like, it is still you taking stuff from ArcCorp. If you go to a hostile bunker, I mean, sure, you're not going to get good rep with Ninetales if you're stealing from a Ninetales bunker, but if you go to do a mission to wipe out Ninetales, then you probably don't care what they think about you. So, yeah. So that's what I'm hoping. But I don't think that's the reason. I don't know why there would be the reason, because there's literally just more danger associated with those missions. Literally doesn't make any sense. Oh. I'm going off of a strong assumption that this is where I'm gonna be at. I think these are medium hangers, although, you know what? Actually, I think these are small and those are medium. No, I think they are the same size. Oh. Yeah, no, it looks like they're the same size. And I think these are mediums. Reliant, I think, technically uses a medium landing pad, and I always used to go here. Now, is it on the stem? Oh, it's on the stem. I go in the donut. Take that out of context, I dare you. It was... Oh my god. Streaming the other day, and it was like... Can't remember what I said. I said, like, twist my pretzel or something. And I was like... That can be taken out of context. And the dude was... like... What? I was like, what? That sounds like it's suggestive. I don't know what I'm suggesting. It sounds suggestive. Okay, sorry, I'm just completely jerping out. I need a cargo container. Ugh. I need a cargo container and some lunch. Not lunch, necessarily, but eh. I also need these stations to have fucking, like, an weapon and armor shop, but, yeah, it's... Can only ask for so much, really. Also, I guess while I'm here, I'm thinking... Okay, so I think the thing that I would want... I don't know, maybe this is like... Maybe it's a little silly. I guess I want an M1 spirit that is like a smaller transport. So replace the tractor beam with the turret. Put the sorry. Replace the track. That was the heaviest sigh. Place the tractor beam with the turret, and you want to split off. I don't know what the best way to do it would be, and I think this would be a point of contention. You have to split the cargo area up somehow. I'm thinking split the back section so that there's like 4 drop seats, and weapons slots. For each person, or a weapon rack for each person, and then I don't know. Is this? Oh, right. Wonder if like that has to just be like it's just busted. It should be a thing of like, yeah, you have junk, you can throw it in. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, okay, so do you take like the back section of the cargo area in the Spirit and do that? Or do you... Who the fuck drops a... They're modded out P4AR. What the fuck? I'm taking that. No, I can't take it. No. Yeah, it's okay. Whoever did that can kick themselves over it. Wait a minute, what? What was that animation? Just do a flip with a med pen? That's cool. That's stupid, but that's cool. But yeah, you could break it up, because, like, the thing with the Spirit is that it can have 2 of the 32 SU cargo containers, whereas if you took the back half of that, I mean, yeah, you'd have like 2 cargo grids, but depending on how much space the seats took up, it would, you know, potentially be, you know, you wouldn't be able to get those large containers. But you potentially could just turn half of the cargo grid into seats in an armory, and then you could still have that space for a cargo container, but I don't know. Which, like, which might be more efficient, but also, like, that one's up for debate. Fairly so, I think. It should have a backpack, but... Well, I could have gotten a backpack from here, but yeah. I'm all shades of gray here, so it's just... It's not sacrifice fashion. I guess the thing with the feature, with the stability first mindset, that, I don't know, like, might rub people the wrong way, or maybe, like, should be a thing of consideration, is, like, the last CitizenCon, a lot of people were not super excited about it. Like, there was a lot less hype. I think there was a lot more I want to say pragmatism. Maybe not the word. I don't know. Realism? Like, they looked at it and were like, hey, like, they said that they wanted to have all of this stuff in, you know, and, like, only half of it's in. Like, we've barely just gotten, you know, like, 4.0 is right around the corner, but, like, depending on how literally you take their word, which, like, seriously, depending on how literally you take their word, like, they just didn't end up, you know, doing what they promised. I was like, I'm sorry, but, you know, that is, technically speaking... Oh, did I throw on an arrowhead mag instead? That was a derp. Oh no, I did put on a gallon mag. Okay, cool. Like, you know, the whole, like, one of the points at CitizenCon 2023 was, hey, like, the way that they phrased things, they literally said that, like, hey, we're making base building, and then the panel after that, they were like, hey, everything you've seen, we're hoping to get in by the end of next year, which, like, the way that they said that would imply that they meant for base building to be in by now, which, like, nobody believed, because, you know, like, nobody believed, because it was, like, what? No, you're not gonna get base building in by the end of the year. You don't even have, like, like, it's only a concept. What? But that is the way that they worded it, right? And that sort of mindset, like, definitely set the tone for last year's CitizenCon. I'm rambling a lot, and I apologize. But, not really. Actually, fuck you. I'm gonna ramble all the way, all I want. I need to load the cart. No, I need to load the cart. Okay, that's my bad. Also have a bad habit of repeating myself. I don't know where the fuck that comes from. Well, it's ever so slightly terrified. But, no, sorry, yeah, CitizenCon 2024 kind of, like, was like, hey, alright, so, like, yeah, hey, we want to, you know, this is, like, our plan for 1.0, this is, like, where we want to be at, this is our plan for the initial proper release of Star Citizen, which is kind of to imply that, like, they have the plan, it's just a matter of, like, acting on it, and, like, they have a timetable in mind. Presumably they have a timetable in mind. Not that they're gonna fall behind, but, like, there was a timetable in mind, and now it's just like, so you've, like, there were a bunch of features in 2023 that you were talking about. There were, only half of the stuff you talked about in 2023 made it before, 2024's CitizenCon, and there were even more features and stuff proposed there, and now we're, looking at it, the year of stability. Yeah, we're going to take it back. We're, I was gonna say backpedaling. That's not the word. We're gonna, we're gonna have a little bit less of a focus on features and focus on stability, even though there's all of these features that, like, we're super excited about. I was like, yeah, it's like, I think stability it's a good thing. I can tell my friend who's I bought the game for that, like, hey, look, year of stability, it's going well, like, hopefully by, like, midway in the year, like, yeah, like, you know, it's not perfect, but it is what it is. It's not perfect, but it is playable. You know, it doesn't have, like, all the features. The gameplay loops aren't necessarily super fleshed out. But, like, we can log on, we can have a good time. That's, like, you know... I'm sorry, just thinking, like, was the waypoint... Okay, so when I initially went to the Bajini Point, I must have had OM... Maybe it was at OM6 was the orbital marker I needed. And then I went to OM6, Bajini Point, and then I didn't update my thing, so it just had me go to OM6 and then Bajini Point again? Seems a bit strange. Again, the star map is one of the things that I don't think I heard them say anything about. And that's definitely something that needs stability. Yeah, I guess, like, the looting system that we have now, fixing some of the quirks, unfortunate quirks of it, would be nice. Sorry. Yeah. Fixing some of the quirks of that would be nice. And then, the star map. Some general stability. I will say that, like, I had one of the missions failed. Hopefully I didn't cut that out. But, like, one of the missions just failed to load the enemies, and, like, I mean, I haven't seen that happen a lot, but, like, I wouldn't say that happens a lot, at least not in my experience, but also if you were to say that it does happen a lot, my experience honestly tends to be better than what most people say. Yeah, more or less. Oh god, you know, that's also another thing with the, it's another thing with the, maybe more about just their communication. The last ISC was about content, was about the content-driven approach, and you know what the video was about? Or the title was like content-driven or whatever, and it was like, hey, we're gonna do all the content stuff. As, you know what it was about? Fucking events. Nothing but fucking events. That's not... That isn't fucking... Jesus Christ, man, that isn't fucking content, that's just... It is content, but it is a very specific subset of content. Like... Basically, I came away from that not having all of the info I wanted. What about regular-ass missions? Because, dude, like, right now, like, again... Like, I don't care about missions. Like, you're like, oh, this mission was awesome. It was awesome to do this event because, like, you know, we actually got to do some story. I'm like, what story? Like, there was a story that happened, yes. I can't argue that. But, like, I didn't care. I didn't have any, there was nothing, like... There was nothing that, like, got me interested in it at all. It was an average Tuesday. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. Like, there are going to be some events that are a lot more low-key. And they mentioned explicitly, like, their plan is to have, like, an A story and a B story sort of dynamic going on. Which I don't think is bad. We don't currently have the B story going on right now. Wouldn't it be so nice if there was a way to control your speed, like in the ships? I still don't understand how that isn't a thing that they've just done. Like, I know that, like, the vehicle handling and the ship handling are different. I can understand that, but also, like, goddamn. What is that ship? It's a Hornet. I think that... No, I don't think that's got the special turret. Damn. Oh, Jesus, don't fucking tell me. Okay, so I also, by the way, like, my experience in Pyro has been the polar opposite of a lot of people. Where, like, again, I don't really do Pyro a lot. I checked it out. I ran into one player, and they didn't do anything. I ran into one player, they didn't do anything, but every time I've streamed, every fucking time I have streamed in Stanton, I've had what I have to assume is a stream sniper. It's not necessarily... I can't know for sure, but, like, yeah. It's like, dude... Like, what? What? Why? Because, like, I don't know. There's some point... I was going to say something about events and I got distracted with combat. I apologize. Another time I actually do apologize. I don't know, there's a lot about griefing that's like, well, sometimes this is like legit gameplay, and I don't know what the other way to... I should have used the suppressed gun. That probably would have made more sense, huh? Jesus. Long reloads on my CQC gun. This was a very well thought out thing here. I really want to see enemies using pistols more. Like, I don't understand why... like, we have the enemies, and, like, I don't know, it's a submachine gun, the Custodian, so, like... I don't know what's happening in Pyro, in all fairness. Ooh. Okay, that was a very odd-like experience. That was also very poor tracking. I'm lucky to be alive. Oh, I've got no idea. Hang on. Wait a minute, I have no idea how I'm doing. Because the mission fucking was like, oh, let's not fucking track the mission you're currently at! That'd be ridiculous. One thing they could do with events, sorry, is they could like have it actually fucking mean something. Like dialogue, wildlines with NPCs, wildlines with NPCs, you know, talking with like, oh, Xenothreat's invading? Oh, well, suddenly now we're seeing, like, instead of Ninetales, you know, you're fighting Xenothreat. And Xenothreat has, like, a larger presence. And you have, like, these enemies that are, you know, these special enemies that are, you know, talking about specific things. Talking about how well the invasion's going or whatever. Instead of just nothing. Because again, like, the only story element of, like, fight for Pyro and save Stanton, or save Pyro, fight for Stanton, or whatever the fuck, like, it's the little cinematics that they did, which, I mean, they were lovely. Sure, but, like, they were just these little baby things. Little baby things. I had no emotional attachment to them. I don't know why I would think I could interact with those in that way, but it was helpful, man. I also don't see this last enemy, and there's no way for me to tell where they're at. Probably outside, but I don't know. Am I wrong, or, like, does that change, like, every time? Not every time, but, like, every time I log into the game, the placement of the things. Kind of what it feels like. Oh, I guess I did store the gun, huh? I also should have landed closer. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'll cut out the looting because it is not the most enticing thing, probably. Does this have a suppressor on it? No, I think it's just got a flash hider. I do like this, when there are just... voice crack, lovely. I do like when there are the guns that just have, you know, like... They're modded out, and I don't think they're, like, super random. Oh my god, no! I'm trying. God damn it. I'm trying to think if, like, it would be better if there was an interaction menu, or, like, an interaction wheel button or the way that it works where you have to hold F, then I guess left click. I don't know, at some point I don't know, man, at some point it's just like, I've done it so many times, it's just, I have to think about what it is I'm actually doing. God, I hope the 890 missions are still a thing. I haven't seen them. But also, like, I assume that they're probably higher tier missions. Like, that would be enough reason for me to grind, because I want to do that gameplay. Because I remember it, and I'd love to do FPS combat. Some, like, you know, go to a ship, fight some enemies in your ship, and then, you know, fight them on whatever ship they've boarded. That would be cool. That'd be fun. But yeah. Oh, another thing. Yeah. God. I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how all the armor stuff is gonna work. Starware. God, that's also something that's not gonna come this year. I hope it does. So much cool shit that they were just like, hey, here's a thing. Now they're like, oh, you know what? It's probably not gonna happen for a while. And it's like, I want to be like, yeah, you shouldn't do this. But also like, I mean, they have a point. They have a point. And so far it seems like it is the right direction. So like, you know. So I should say, for the sake of argument, I wouldn't care if there was a trespassing thing. Because it is Ninetales. And actually, I don't know if it might actually be, it might actually have some adverse effects if you do trespass, even if it is Ninetales gang territory. Probably doesn't really make sense. At least, like, you know, at least not if you're on an official mission from Blackjack, from the, you know, local security forces. That one probably doesn't make much sense. Oh, I'm sorry. I've looked at... We got the Ravager. We can skip on the Ravager. Sorry. One of my... Okay, so I want to... The only reason I want to do looting, really, is so I can have some basic materials to work with for crafting. Potentially, you know, even just, you know, like... Oh, oh my god. What it probably should be is that I, like, F over things, and then, like, I go into this... Then I right click and then do that. But like if I do this and I hold F, then I'm gonna bring the wheel up around it. I might not necessarily want to do that. I don't know if that made any sense or if that just sounded like complete nonsense, but yeah. Like the reason I'm taking the weapons, well, also, the reason I'm taking the weapons and not the armor is because I'm not gonna do anything with the armor. Maybe some of the clothes. Baby, if I cared, which I don't, because I don't want Ninetales branded equipment. I don't want to be wearing that. If there was a purpose to having a disguise, maybe, but it's not the case. And, you know, like, it's not necessarily break the guns down for components, although it could be. But also, like, I have the initial gun and then I can upgrade it. Which, I still think... I don't know what my opinion was the last time we talked. My current opinion is that, like, I don't think the upgrade system seems like a strange thing. I don't know if it would be best to describe it as a crutch. I don't think a crutch is the right term. But it seems like there's a lot of things that are hinging on it, and it seems like there's a lot of balance in, oh, well, yeah, you can just get a better version of this with crafting stuff, and I feel like I don't think that's amazing. Like, the crafting thing where you can make a gun that has better fire rate and more damage, but less durability, less reliability, or something. You know, that's cool. That's a good idea. But having a tier 3 version of it that, like, you know, maybe like some of those, like, it's just better. Like, I don't know. It's like, what? Oh, well, you put the effort in, so you get a reward for putting the effort in. It's like, yeah, sure, but also, like, I don't know, then you just get the best equipment, and then it just, you know, like, I mean, you don't, like, become invincible, but you become much harder to deal with if you're gonna be trolling, or if you're in PvP, and, you know, you're just fighting new players, which, I mean, for one reason or another, that has to not happen. Even if you were, like, on a level playing field in terms of equipment, like, yeah, I mean, because it is one of the things with, like, Death of the Spaceman where, and I don't know, I think part of the system needs to just be that, like, part of the system needs to be, it can't be painful to die. Like, it needs to be a setback, but it can't be, like, super painful. Like, it shouldn't be like, oh, I've died, and, like, now I have to spend an hour just getting my gear back. Like, I mean, okay, maybe. I mean, it shouldn't be like that, because that's not fucking fun. I mean, there should be, like, I don't know, the expectation of whatever. I mean, nobody's gonna play to expectations, right? So, like, I would say that, like, oh, you have some starter equipment that you have, and, like, you can just, alright, so you're doing some PvP, and you got your ass handed to you, you lost all of your super duper gear, but you have a warranty on, let's say, all of the gear. And, you know, but it's gonna take, like, an hour, 2 hours, 5 days, to get all your equipment back or something. But, you know, you have some basic equipment that you can, it's not gonna be a big deal if you lose, and you can just do some, like, simple, easier PvP, or PvE missions, in the interim. But some people aren't gonna like that. And it's not gonna be, oh, do the interim gameplay, it's gonna be, I'm not gonna play for, you know, an hour, 2 hours, 5 days, while all my equipment, gets back, while the timer ticks down. There's also a huge thing of, like, upgrades, and a huge question mark of, like, how all the upgrades and things are, like, even remotely going to work. Like, alright, I have a tier 2 salvo pistol that I got off of Danny Salvo Man. Like, do I have to, like, if I want that item with that crafted tier 2 item, like how am I gonna do that? Oh, also, looting armor is a pain in the fucking ass still, and, like, I just don't want to do it. if I could take stuff directly off of their body, directly off of the corpse, and directly into an inventory crate, then I might look into it. If it was worth selling, I might look into it. But yeah. God, I am kind of honestly like, I did not mean to slide. Definitely did not mean to slide that much, holy shit. Sorry, I'm just like... Maybe I will. Maybe I will melt. Okay, so what I have to do... I have to melt my C1, because it's standalone. Melt my C1, and then get... upgrade my Reliant, because my Reliant has LTI. And like, frankly, to be honest with you, I know 100% that the C1 is like the ship for me. I mean, even if there's some balance changes, like, just having this sort of two-person ship, what I'm hoping is that I can like throw a crafting machine or a crafting bench or whatever you want to call it, a crafting station. My hope is that you can just throw a smaller one. I mean, obviously you're not going to be building capital ships out of the back of your freelancer. But like, my hope would be that, yeah, I take this and I take a crafting station into the back of this thing and I can use it as a mobile thing. And even, maybe not necessarily even that, but like, if I needed to, potentially I could. That would be the hope. That would be the hope. Sorry, so yeah. Do that, and I think... I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll have to try it out. Try the arrow out. Because I did try the arrow out, and like... I'll tell you what, the arrow, I mean... Oh my god. I should have flown in the opposite direction, in all fairness. Yeah, I think that might be... Maybe that'll be what I do. I'm gonna land at Bajini Point. Oh, I gotta get a beauty shot here somewhere. It wasn't... Oh my god, it was. Oh, is F4 doing stuff? Oh yeah, no, okay, the power management does work in ships, but not vehicles, which is understandable, but a little bit weird. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Bajini Point and drop stuff off, but I will leave you for now. I will say, I don't know if you head over to Rylu_ on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rylu with an underscore at the end. I'm either streaming Star Citizen or I'm either gonna be streaming Star Citizen or Monster Hunter Wilds. today in particular. I mean, if anything goes wrong with Star Citizen in general, I'll probably switch over to something, probably Minecraft. But yeah, until next time, have a good day, great day, even Chowskis.